Welcome back from the break. You're still on Books and Blogs.
Elisha, where the Bible talks about the lady who identified him as a man of God and not really as a prophet, bringing out the idea that sometimes we have the ideas, we have this character of identifying people by their giftings rather than their character. So that if I'm a prophet, you talk to me like a prophet. And sometimes as human beings, we take that, we really magnify our gift because it's what people identify us with and forget our character. And that can be very dangerous because probably if I'm a prophet and you identify me as a prophet and I don't deal with my character, I'll be forced even to speak my own words as prophecy, even when God is not even about to talk to the people that I'm talking to. And so he talks about with people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Caroline, on page 87, he talks about a ceremonial mentor. So here, here the story is about, okay, he gives a story, yes, this Richard guy who had all of things working for him, but then what he was looking for was a ceremonial mentor. I like this sentence. He was hoping for transactional mentorship, not a relational one. Would you say our generation now understand the role of mentors in this day and age?
We have to commend the age that we are living in, and not during our times you wouldn't really find mentors as per se. But we are living in times whereby if you look for a mentor, you will get one. But we also have a challenge with people submitting to a mentor. As you're putting it, ceremonial, mentored by so and so is my mentor, but they are not really willing to sit under that person and be corrected. We are living in times whereby people don't want to be corrected, and mostly when you go up, people also fear you. They don't want to tell you what is right and what is wrong because they also see you're not really listening to what they are saying. So people are there, let's just watch and see. Even the mentors who are there are also having a very hard time because you cannot mentor people who don't want to be mentored, and you can only do so much. You can correct somebody, come see me, let's see how we can work out in this. But at the end of the day, it's also left to you to know how to handle that and to try and connect with your mentor because they can't do everything for you.
Yeah. Which personal story did you relate to the most? He gave so many illustrations, so many stories, and they're fictional. He says they're fictional. I believe he was right about people he knows. Like, okay, Catherine is like this. Let me now write about Catherine. I believe it. I saw myself in 2 of those stories. 2! And I won't tell you which ones. So did you see yourself in any of the stories?
Yeah, Catherine looking for affirmation because she...
There's a Catherine. I didn't read about a Catherine. There's a Catherine here. You can't even remember. But anyway, which one did you...
I don't think I would pick up a Catherine because my boss is Catherine, so there's no way I would use Catherine as...
Which one did you find any story you could relate to as Caroline is looking for?
Yeah, I related to one.
Which one? Are you able to say it?
There's a guy called Greg. Yeah, I could relate to him.
Is it? In what way?
For myself, I've grown up without having my father. Actually, at my age, I don't know him. And so there is usually that ideal of you miss the fatherhood, or you have the wrong ideal of a father, and you also struggle. You feel emotionally, as much as you are succeeding outside, deep within you there is also usually that emotional,
Yes.
emotional bit that you feel empty. Yeah, especially as you look for affirmation and such kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did the book help you with that issue? I know obviously it will take time, but did it bring any sense of new awareness, new knowledge on how to just
Yeah. It brought a new awareness to me that I can look for someone else who probably I could relate to, that I could submit to, that can be a father figure to me. Yeah, and I thought that's an action point that I should take.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's pretty good. Caroline, did you relate to anyone? Who?
This guy called Richard, God was looking for power so that he wanted to amass people for himself so that he can be able to get affirmation from them, because he was not able to get that when he was growing up with a single mother. He did not get a father figure, so he was trying to figure out all that.
So how do you relate to that? Are you looking for power? We can affirm you here, all of us.
Okay, sometimes you feel you want to get up there where your name is known and everything and all that. You want to feel, as it says, that there are some places, you get places of influence that when you get into that space, you feel, I got it.
Yeah. So how does that speak to you then? Like, did it speak to you maybe did it give you a new perspective?
Yeah, a new perspective, because now I won't look for it in that way, but I'll go the right way, knowing that even if in this life you got what you wanted, it will not fill the void that is in you. You still need a lot to maintain that which is in you, in your life.
Yeah, and it speaks to that what Sam alluded to earlier about developing your character to match up to the level of your gift.
Yes, because you're only in the room, because it is the gift that is invited to the room, not the man. So the man should make
You are not trying to come forth, you know. We're always going to wait for you to want to come. Then we can remove the grave clothes. Yeah. But if you refuse to wake up, then people leave you right there. Yeah.
Preach the sermon for the whole year. Every Sunday sermon for the whole year. Do you think, Sam, that people use leprosy as an excuse? Based on now reading the book.
Yes, I think they do. Yeah, we do, because like he explains in the book, sometimes when we are identified by our giftings and we are earning from the gifting, which is not a problem actually, which is not a problem to earn from the gifting that God has given you. Sometimes we tend to magnify the gift and forget about ourselves. And so, because we are living a life that we want to please everyone who is seeing our gifting, we don't want anything that touches, that would suggest a change in what we are. And so as long as I can sing well, and if I'm a singer, for example, as long as I can sing well and people get excited, I don't mind about what I do behind the scenes. I can do any other scene as long as people are excited about what I'm doing. And so sometimes I think we bury behind that, probably also because of the idea that sometimes we don't want to take the initiative and to change, because I think changing and dealing with the leprosy is also a choice. It starts from a choice that I have a problem and I want to deal with it. So sometimes we think that we don't have the initiative to deal with it. And as he says that what you don't deal with will eventually deal with you, which is so true.
Yes. Wow, well said. Caroline, there's a place he said here, and I quote, "There's something about a man who has clarity concerning his future that makes him very attractive." You knew I would quote that one. Do you agree, and why?
Anything that is rising. Attractiveness that you have, you can easily be caught up in what is happening around you, in how the gift is making way for you, and how you're becoming popular. Everything about your life changes.
In particular, a man, not man general. We're talking about a man who knows his future. A man, like a man, mwanaume.
Is attractive because people want quality. People will always go for people will always go for quality, and we are short of people who are who want to develop quality in their lives.
Like, do you think they care? They love it. They love that. Oh, like, ooh, they love the attention.
For men. Yeah. And even in the Bible, it's for another day. You know, Abraham literally sold his relationship.
Which one?
Sarah, he said, you know, if they come in, just say, you're my sister. And his son did the same thing. His son did the same thing. Like, where the success of the man is threatened, he can easily sacrifice his relationship unless he is grounded. So you have a lot of that issue then with men in various places where by the time I didn't know you were married, it's 7 years. It's because this thing was working for him in a certain way. So he meets Caroline, who is willing to support his dreams and, open doors. He meets Catherine, who will say, then come onto my show, talk about your dreams. Then he meets somebody else who will introduce him to different people, and he thinks that's working. So I'm not going to tell you that there's somebody in my life lest it messes it up,
Pastor Chris he knows what he has just said. It's okay.
No, I mean, it's a general thing,
It's not a general thing. But it's not normal, Sam, right? It's not normal. Why do men do that? Why can't you just be honest?
Sometimes I like what he's saying. I think the problem is I'll not tell you that not because I feel guilty about it, but because
was helping us to start the gifts that are in us. We don't want to mess when we're up there. We don't want to have scandals when we've worked so hard. And it's a book that shows us you don't have to suffer alone. It's a book that you can read and you can take practical steps. It's not a book that you read. There are some books you read and you're like, okay, you've told me all this. What is the way out? It's a book that shows us you
that your gifting will have an impact that goes beyond you. And number two, that every one of us is struggling with something. As he says in the book, that it's only that some of these things differ in magnitude, but it's just basically at some point you are struggling with something. And so for every person who wants longevity in terms of what they are doing and their ministries and whatever they are dealing with, I would recommend this book. And after all, you realize that sometimes we are facing things that we don't know what, and sometimes we don't know what is happening around us. As if you read this book, sometimes you'll have the understanding of, oh, this is what has been happening. Oh, this is how I can deal with this. So it's a solution and a very practical book to every person out there.
I agree.
Yeah.
The reason I recommend this book, Pastor Chris, is because it normalizes leprosy. It says, look, you're not supposed to be perfect. Your struggles are there. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to hide. But at the same time, don't use your leprosy as an excuse for bad manners, if I may put it simply. Yeah? Don't use your leprosy as an excuse to go off-site or off route or off the path. But it also shows you, it makes you aware that when you're in certain situations, let your gift speak, let your character match the level of your gift. I like that about this book.
And you know, in the epilogue, I talk about the leper who came to Jesus and he said, Lord, if you're willing, you can make me clean. And we must be willing to become clean so that we move away from this thing of this is who I am, don't judge me or whatever. Well, we appreciate that you may have struggles, but we also would appreciate if you want to come out of it.
There you go. Yeah, we'd appreciate that more.
Yes.
And respect you more for it.
Yes. And you know, this book, I think, and it's serving the purpose because it was to start a conversation so that people can talk about these things. And we need to give room to people to come out and grow. Because sometimes when you don't give room, then people struggle. They hold on to the armor so tight because I'm not sure how Catherine will view me, I'm not sure how Caroline will view me or how Sam will view me, so I'm dying on the inside. Let's allow people the space to come out and say, look, this is what I'm battling with, and help them, not use it against them.
And help them. I like it. There's a topic we didn't touch on because it's a morning show. It's the last topic, the sin that so easily besets us. You get the book for yourself and read that topic for yourself because it's the most major. It's where I think 99% of people fall in or are struggling with. So because it's a morning show, if it was past 10 p.m. maybe we would have talked. But the only way for you to know more about it is to just get the book. Where can these books be bought?
You just make an order through 0713 596 552. 0713 596 552. Either a text or a call, and then the book will be delivered to you. Even if you're not in Nairobi, the book will be delivered to you. We've always been doing that. Otherwise, then you can also visit us at church and you can get your copies there, New Birth Covenant Church, and you could get your copies there either in City Center or Syokimau. Right.
There you go, no excuse. All that detail will be on our hashtag on Twitter, hashtag KTN Life and Style, or on Facebook, so you'll get those numbers there in case you missed out. But get this book, I recommend it. This is my copy. How much are these books before I decide how many I'm buying?
It's only 1,000.
So I should tell you about Kikuyu to the bone. So I want to get this book for 3 people. So let me know. My handles at Kath Mwangi, both Instagram and Twitter, and Facebook, Catherine Mwangi, hashtag KTN Life and Style. 3 people I want to buy for this book, but you need to tell me what's that leprosy thing you're dealing with. It must touch me. It must touch me. Your leprosy must touch me in a deep way for me to get your copy. Okay, but thank you for watching this morning. Thank you for coming today. I appreciate it. Congratulations on this new book. I await the other 4 that are coming this year. There are 4. I haven't written any yet. Have a nice day.